question, not strictly a foreign policy question, but people in India say, don't Americans see what this man is doing? How come he's still popular enough to stay in office?
Well, we'll see about this. Polling is not looking pretty for President Trump. He's at the lowest. I think he's 36%. And also, I have to tell you, just like I think in India, and in China, I bet as well, but this is why President Xi and the CCP want to keep that economy humming. They want to keep that middle class happy. It's economy first. Yeah. And with President Trump running around the world, you know, sending carrier and fleets to the Middle East and going after Venezuela, many Americans are not happy, actually, because they can't afford the food that they want to put on their table. Electricity prices are high. Energy prices are high. There's a housing crisis in the United States because mortgage rates are too high and people aren't, like me, aren't moving out of my house because I have a great mortgage rate, but my children can't get that rate. So President Trump's going to have a lot to pay for or a lot to be accounted for come the midterm elections.
I was going to say that. Will the midterms make a difference? Will the party put pressure on him?
Well, we've seen in some of the special elections that indeed the Republicans have been hurting. I mean, Texas, there was just a great analysis of Texas, which is you've seen turnout of Democrats that they didn't even know existed.
This is the special election.
Yeah, special elections in Texas. And so the sense is that assuming that everything is fair, there's no national crisis declared, I mean, we're seeing the Trump administration talking about having ICE, or Department of Homeland Security, deployed before the elections to try to intimidate some Americans from not voting. A lot of schemes. But assuming that, I think that potentially, you could see the Republicans lose not only the House, it was pretty clear they were probably going to lose the House, but now they're saying the Senate. And if that happens, then the President Trump's administration's ability to carry through with its policies, they're not going to be able to do it with the Democrats in control of the House and or the Senate.
But your view is that even if that happens, he's already done so much, well, for want of a better word, damage, that it'll take a long time for people to unravel it. And in the process, he shifted the goalposts so that anything that follows will be influenced in some way by Trump and the boundaries he set. Right?
Yes, I think that the trust in the United... Look, I wouldn't trust the United States right now. If I were a middle power, I'd be hedging quite a bit. You see this with Vietnam. You know, Cambodia is completely in China's camp. I've spent a lot of time in the Middle East lately. You just look at the Middle East and what the Gulf states are doing and other states, the Saudis, the Omanis, they're balancing between China and the United States because they understand that the United States has a credibility problem. And by the way, it's not just, President Trump. Look, President Biden and President Obama, because of the ineffective legislature in our country that has abrogated responsibility, it's not legislating. So what ends up happening is that the executive comes in, signs an executive order, and then what does the next executive do? Overturns those executive orders and re-implements its policy. So the big question mark is actually not about the executive, it's about our Congress and whether our Congress starts doing its job so that there's some certainty, there's some reliability, there's some stability in the execution of U.S. policy, both in trade, but then also foreign policy.
Okay. I've already looked